fatter version of the very famous, in fact it was the first of the jet airliners in the world. Rolls-Royce Spey engines. Nimrod can stay airborne for some 12 hours at a time. It can even loiter over the sea by cutting 2 of its engines and cruising on 2 just to save fuel. And here we see this enormous bomb bay underneath the aircraft, which can carry a multitude of different stores. They're a very, very good view of it. Carries an extensive range of anti-submarine warfare weapons, hard points under the wings for air-to-surface missiles, and it can carry rockets, cannon pods, or even mines. Oh, these Falcons, as you can see, just getting their kit ready. Very sensible idea to pack your own parachute, especially if you've got to jump out of the air, out of the back of a Hercules. Now let's go back to World War II. Here's a lovely clutch of beautiful aircraft. This is the last really genuine ME-109. It actually has the Mercedes-Benz, or rather Daimler-Benz engine in it. You can tell actually because the ones that have the Merlin engine usually have the exhausts, as you can see, on the Spitfire up at the top of the cowling there. As is the ME-108, flown and owned by Lindsay Walton. He's a farmer. He lives out in Norfolk, and I think that aeroplane has been on the circuit for as many years as I can remember, and it always gets shot down. But this, the genuine ME-109, flown by Mark Hanna. It's actually based up at Duxford and belongs to the Imperial War Museum. Now here's the ME-108. Now this was the forerunner to the ME-109, and William Messerschmitt, who designed both, as you can see, there's quite a lot in common. He was a very, very clever designer indeed, and anyone who underestimates the German aircraft of that period, well, think again. They were very good. Here, of course, is Ray Hanna's marvellous Spitfire that we saw earlier. This really has quite a history. It, in fact, shot down 2 Focke-Wulfs in 1943, so it also has its anniversary this year. And there we have a lovely picture of the 2 enemies up in the air together. What an absolutely beautiful sight. Back to the ME-108, the Germans rather cheated between the wars. They used these for air racing more than anything else. This is how they built up the Luftwaffe in the guise of civil flying. And then, of course, by the Spanish Civil War, a lot of these aircraft were actually turned into fighters and bombers, of course. Back to the Spitfire, used to be owned by Adrian Swire after the war. And in fact, Ray Hanna bought it for his old flying machine company just a few years ago at auction. But Ray, in fact, had been flying it for Adrian Swire for many, many years, and we've seen this superb display at Biggin many, many times. I think, A, it's the prettiest aircraft ever designed, and one of the greatest pilots probably the world has ever known of this sort of thing. Ray Hanna led the Red Arrows. He's the only man to have led them twice, in fact. And there, the lovely silhouette of the Mark 9 Spitfire, absolutely gorgeous, those elliptical wings. It was designed by R.J. Mitchell after the wonderful Schneider Trophy winners, 1929, 30 and 31, when Great Britain won the Schneider Trophy absolutely outright, and in fact you will find it in the Science Museum. That is the genuine article. And he got a lot of his ideas for the Spitfire from that particular aircraft. Now this is something else. This is the Blenheim. Its predecessor was crashed in 1987. It's taken all this time to get this one together again, and what a joy to see it flying. This was its first or second flight, I think, this year since it's been rebuilt. And here, well, the first of the helicopters this afternoon, the Gazelle from the Silver Eagles, that's the Army team, and we're going to see quite a lot of that later on in the programme. And Ray Hanna brings the Spit in for a lovely, gentle landing. See, the Spitfire had a very, very narrow undercarriage, so we could get these very slim wings, and that really is the secret of it, less drag. and that's why it was such a fast aeroplane for its day. And that gorgeous sound of a Merlin engine just ticking over. What a combination that was. Gray, of course, thoroughly enjoys his flying, and he'll fly any of the warbirds as often as he possibly can. Spitfire always got the credit for the Battle of Britain victory, but in fact there were more Hurricanes than Spitfires in the conflict during the Second World War. Both, of course, powered by the same engine, the Merlin from Rolls-Royce. Ray always smiling. And another look at the Blenheim, a lovely close-up during a fast run. It was the first radar-equipped night fighter during World War II, and its crews won no less than 3 Victoria Crosses.